thank you all again for joining us tonight. Tonight is our 12th webinar here for the Homesteading Series, and we're going to talk a little bit about the consumer impact on local food. We've been able to cover a lot of different topic areas and give some introductions on a handful of different homesteading tips and areas for people trying to get started. And we thought, it'd be kind of a cool idea to take a look from the consumer side and see how that impacts us here locally. All right, so I'm going to run through a few slides here, and some of you have probably seen these many times now, but we'll go ahead and run through them anyways. So just a quick overview. We're going to kind of take a quick look at our West Virginia Department of Agriculture Business Development Division there, look at some of our contacts and the resources that we provide. Then we've got Kacey from Turnrow. She's going to talk about that a little bit. And then we're actually going to do a short video here with my mom, Dane Gaiser. She's online here with us, just following her around, doing her weekly CSA pickup. And then Beth Southern, she's going to join us for a little piece on West Virginia grown, and we'll finish up with some questions. All right, but real quick, so the Veterans and Heroes to Agriculture program, we recently became Veterans and Heroes from the Veterans and Warriors to Agriculture, but now we include both veterans and first responders, which includes firefighters, emergency services personnel, law enforcement, sheriffs, etc. So if you or anybody you know is interested in learning more, just contact us here at the West Virginia Department of Agriculture. There's our contact information in the bottom right, 304-558-2210, or email at vetstoag@wvda.us. All right, our planning coordinators. So at the Department of Agriculture, we have planning coordinators embedded around the state. There are boots on the ground, and they're there to help support farmers with technical assistance with things like, production planning and finding new markets for their products, as well as finding local contacts and navigating some of those resources. Right now, we've got 4 planning coordinators. So we've got Kacey Gantzer. She's up in the northern panhandle there, covers Hancock down to Pleasance. We've got Lacey Davidson there. She covers the southwestern portion of the state from Mason down to McDowell. And then Ashley Amos, who's actually online here with us, she covers Nicholas down to Mercer and Wyoming over to Greenbrier and that kind of southeastern portion of the state. And then we've got Nathan Bergdahl, who covers the eastern panhandle up from Pendleton over there to Jefferson County. And if you happen to fall into some of these central counties there, don't feel like you don't have somebody there to assist you. While these areas highlighted here are kind of the focus areas, they all work together to cover down on these other counties in between. So, if you fall into one of those places, just reach out to us and, we'll get you set up and try to help you out as best we can. All right, West Virginia grown. I'm not going to hit this too hard just because, Beth's here. I'm not going to steal her thunder, but just give you a quick kind of look here. If you want any information about that, just email at westvirginiagrown@wvda.us. It's our premier branding program. It helps highlight locally grown products here in the state. All right, well, I'm going to stop screen sharing again here for a minute, and we'll hand it over to Kacey. She's here with us again from Turnrow Appalachian Farm Collective. It's been a great initiative, really helping pump local products into the system here and helping support some of our local farmers. So I want to give her some time here to talk and fill you all in about it.
Thank you. Yeah, so like I said, well, first, can everybody hear me okay, see me okay? Great. Okay, so my name is Kelsey. I'm the current sales and general manager at Turnrow Appalachian Farm Collective. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Turnrow is a network of growers, producers, all across the spectrum of products from produce to value addeds, honey, maple syrup, dry goods, meat products, dairy products, etc. And we really see ourselves as the sort of matchmaker between producers and market outlets. So our job is to connect producers that are really, really good at growing products out in the field to particular market buyers, whether that's a restaurant outlet, a school institution, a healthcare facility, childcare centers, or even direct to consumer for smaller producers that are just able to access more of that traditional farmers market clientele. So the two ways that we do that, one, through our online farmers market platform. You can go to our website, turnrowfarms.org, and learn a little bit more about how we're connecting small producers to individual customers that are doing their weekly grocery shopping. We host the platform that's really run by producers. So producers get to upload their listings each week, what they have available to harvest, what meat is still, in their freezer from the last processing date. And they get to set their prices. They get to determine which products and how many products they're going to be selling. And then they bring that product to one of our designated aggregation points across the state, and we do the rest. We then facilitate that transaction, move product around, bring it to the designated pickup locations where then customers come and pick up their groceries on a weekly basis. The second way that we're connecting producers to different markets is through our wholesale outlet. So wholesale buyers being restaurants, food service, healthcare institutions, etc., that are buying in bulk. We're connecting them to producers that are also growing in bulk. So we offer a twice-a-week delivery schedule, once earlier in the week, Mondays or Tuesdays, depending on your region and where you're located, and then again later on in the week for a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday delivery. And similarly, we're aggregating and moving product from across the state so that, a restaurant in Morgantown can buy leafy greens, grown in Lewisburg, or Huntington restaurants can have eggs that were raised in Pendleton County, or up towards the Wheeling area. So we're working with producers all over the map, but also all over the spectrum in terms of how much they're growing. And particularly for the wholesale side of things, we're working on purchase agreements because we very much believe that the way that this local food system is going to work is if it's sustainable and equitable for everybody along that supply chain, producers included, which are often left out in a more commodity traditional agricultural system. So we believe that working on purchase orders and production agreements with producers gives them more of a forecasting and prediction element that you don't normally get with very volatile markets. It also allows us to do more planning and education with our buyers. So being able to go back to the buyer and say, hey, we know that you really want spinach this time of year, but it might not be as readily available. How can we substitute with another product that is being grown in our region at, a price point that works for you, with a flavor profile that works for you, etc. So, people that are coming to us saying, hey, we want, peaches in February. Well, let's talk about why that's not possible. But when peaches are available, how can we get you to source as locally as possible from as many producers within West Virginia as we can? So we really see ourselves as that matchmaker. Turnrow is not a farm, even though we have farm in our name. We really are more of a collective. So we're a network of producers, other aggregators, distributors, a host of businesses, both for-profit and nonprofit, that are sort of circling around that idea of building a local, sustainable, and equitable food system really across the entire supply chain. How can we increase transparency for buyers so they know where their product is coming from, who is growing it, and similarly transparency for our producers so they know what price we're going to be purchasing product at and what price their final customer is going to be receiving. So just a couple of things that I want to mention. Right now is kind of the time of year where we are looking to sort of build our production plan for the fall and for the future. So if there are buyers out, or excuse me, if there are growers out there that you know that are looking for access to additional markets, maybe they already have a CSA, they do a couple of tailgate markets, they sell into a few grocery stores, but this year in particular is even more volatile for them and they'd like to explore some other outlets, feel free to connect them through our Turnrow network. We are, like I said, building that production plan for the fall season, winter, as well as keeping an eye to spring and summer. So we are open and interested in bringing more producers into the network, as well as bringing in more buyers. So if there are any of you on the call that own your own business, restaurant, food service, work at a child care center that does meals for kids, you work for a school that is still very much probably figuring out how this school year is going to go in terms of feeding programs. If local food is something that's important to you, getting into any of those types of facilities, we'd love to talk and see if you're within our distribution and routing availability. And similarly, if there are special events, catering, anything like that, that you're interested in sourcing wholesale volumes of locally grown product, feel free to reach out as well. We'd love to talk more about getting you looped into the network. So that's kind of all on the wholesale side of things. And then on the individual consumer side, if you live in any of the regions that we have active pickup locations, being Huntington, Dunbar, Charleston, Fayetteville, Lewisburg, Tulkett, Raynell, we have pickup locations there. So you can visit our website, shop online, and pick up your weekly groceries. Or if you're a small scale producer and you've really only got maybe a couple of jars of honey every year that's surplus that you want to try and sell through a farmer's market outlet, and you're interested in learning more about our online farmers market, feel free to reach out as well, and we can see if the platform is the right fit for you. And I'm going to drop into the chat box here momentarily, just kind of a link to our website, turnrowfarms.org, and my contact if there are anybody interested in learning more about either getting involved in the wholesale side of things or on the online farmers market side of things. Any general questions I can answer? All right. I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate that, Kelsey. That was great. So even on the farmers market side, which you already kind of answered it there, but you don't, I guess, really have any kind of minimum volumes there and stuff, so people that are small scale can still hop on there pretty easily and try to sell what they've got.
Absolutely. There's no minimum listing for number of items per week, and there's no minimum in terms of number of weeks that you list items throughout the year. So even though the online market is open, for customers to shop year round, if you only have seasonal product 2 months out of the year, and that's when you want to be active, you're more than welcome to only be active during the times that you have surplus.
Awesome. Yeah, and I've actually used the platform a couple times. It's really user friendly. I enjoy going on there and shopping. It's kind of neat. So for anybody interested in that, it is just like a farmer's market. You can go on there and look through different producers, order from several different places if you want, or one place if you want. So it's a really handy tool, and I've been able to switch locations and everything, so I highly recommend it for anybody that, especially in the southern West Virginia area here around those locations. It's a great way to access some locally grown produce and meats and dairy and everything else.
Yeah.
So
as our producers get dates at the processor, there's always more and more meat available. And one of the key feedback points that we've gotten from customers that's kind of unique, well, not unique, but is pretty advantageous as a customer, is that you can add items from multiple different producers to your cart and only check out once. So your credit card only gets charged one time, even though you've purchased 5 different items from 5 different producers, whereas a lot of other platforms kind of make you check out by producers. So that is one of the benefits from the customer side of things. One of the benefits from the producer side of things is that you get to set your own price, and that you get to have visibility into what other producers are listing. So you can kind of see, how things are shaking out on the market. So if you're growing, kale, for example, and you list it at half-pound bags and 1-pound bags and 5-pound bags, and every week you're selling out of the half-pound bags and never sell a single 5-pound bag, then the next week you can adjust your listings to go for what's more popular, to increase your overall sales based on sort of what customers are more inclined to be doing. So because it's on that weekly cycle, there's lots and lots of flexibility to say, okay, I'm going to try this week, what worked, what didn't, and it can really be helpful when you're diversifying your business and thinking about what other farmers markets do I want a production plan for the next season, what products do I enjoy growing, what packaging helps me sell my product best, all of those little nuances that are really important for a direct-to-consumer retail outlet. This platform gives you a lot of flexibility to test things out and see what's best for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate it, Kelsey. Anybody have any last minute questions here? We'll stop here at the end too and do another round of questions, but anything coming to mind? All right. Well, if not, we'll go ahead and keep on plugging along here. I'm going to bring on Mom. Are you still there?
Yeah.
I'll get you to turn your camera on if you want.
Hello.
All right. Well, you want to do a quick introduction? Tell everybody where you're at and stuff?
Well, I'm Kacey Gantzer, Dane's mom, and I live in Sistersville, West Virginia, along the Ohio River. And I'm part of the CESA program here with Creekside Farms.
Awesome. Thanks, Mom. I'm going to go ahead and we'll pull up our video. We got about, I think, an 11 or 12 minute video here. I was able to join her a couple weeks ago. We went to the Sistersville Pharmacy, and they have a pickup site there down. If any of you are familiar with the hospital, or Sistersville General, but Sistersville General Hospital down by the river. There's a river walk beside it, and they do weekly pickups there. So I was able to join her and ask her a few questions. So we'll go ahead and play that video. Hey everybody, I'm Dane Gaiser, and I'm the program coordinator for the Veterans and Heroes to Agriculture program in the West Virginia Department of Agriculture's Business Development Division. And I'm here in my childhood home in Tyler County with my beautiful mom, Kacey Gantzer, and she's going to take us down to the Sistersville Pharmacy. That's pharmacy with an F. A nice little pun there. So we're going to go in there, visit some of the farmers. We've got John and Lisa Dumar from the Garden Path. We've got John and Molly from Jennings Spray Bank Farm, and we've got Dave from Creekside, and we're going to check out some of their produce there, and Mom's going to tell us a little bit about how she buys locally. All right, Mom, you mentioned COVID-19 there a little bit ago, and it's something that's definitely caused a lot of anxiety and fear across the nation as people worry about supply chains and have concerns about food and its availability in stores and everything. How's working with a local farmer been helpful for you in giving you a sense of peace of mind that you have food each week?
Well, I have peace of mind because I know it's coming from our local farmers. I know that it's not being shipped in on trucks from who knows where, being handled by numerous people, and they just don't have a lot of information enough in my book for the how the COVID gets transferred and things like that. So I just feel really good about going in. I haven't given it a lot of thought, to be honest, because everybody down at the farmers market here, they're always masked up, and everybody's been really great to social distance. As far as being concerned about running out of food, I definitely know that just from experience and going to some of our local stores, that the run on things in the panic of worrying whether they were going to have food or not just left you not being able to find simple things in the store that normally would be in abundance. But produce is just one of those things that I always have had a hard time being totally satisfied with what I'm getting at the grocery store. And I love the fact that when I go down there, my stuff is just fresh. They have plenty because, our farmers are producing a large amount of food around here, and they're taking great steps to use as few chemicals as possible. So I just feel really good about buying from our farmers. And as far as, I guess I just haven't really given it a lot of thought that they're going to run out of food because, we've farmed ourselves before, and, as they say, you reap what you sow, and our farmers around here are very generous with the amount of produce that they're growing out there to help supply. So, I highly recommend that people look into buying from their local farmers, not just produce, but some of them around here, also would supply meat products and things. And yet if you go to the grocery store, the shelves are empty.
I know one of the big concerns that I hear from people that, are interested in buying locally or buying more healthy food options, they feel that it's a little bit more expensive or they can't afford it. Can you talk a little bit about, your thoughts on the cost effectiveness of it?
Well, I find it very cost effective because not only am I getting to see firsthand and pick what I want, I see the fact that, like, usually judged based on the size of the fruit or the vegetables, that I get like more for my money. Most of the time with anything that I get in my produce bag, I feel like it's just better quality for the money. I don't mind paying a little extra, but in most cases I find that I don't pay more than what I pay at the grocery store. And especially now with the COVID thing, I find that a lot of prices have really jumped up in the grocery stores on produce and everything.
We're down here today to pick up my mom's produce. She buys from a local farm here in their CSA, and they pick up each week at the Sistersville Pharmacy, and that's pharmacy with an F. Tell us a little bit about the program that you participate in.
Well, I get my produce from Dave Claw. He's from Creekside Farms here in Sistersville. And I actually didn't even know about the program until my son was telling me about it. And I thought I really liked the idea of being able to not only buy from our local farmers, but also to be able to support our veterans who are also in the program. And so I go to the grocery store and I'm always so disappointed with the produce and stuff section because I can never really find what I want. And then even when I purchase things, I'll end up being disappointed when I get home because most of it is greenhouse and it just doesn't have the right taste of a homegrown garden. And so I started buying through Dave's CSA program, and I have really been really happy with it. Especially my favorite part was in the very beginning when we were getting butterhead lettuce, and I'd actually enjoyed butter lettuce before, but not the quality I got from getting it directly from the farmer. So it's really nice because I come down here every week and pick up my produce. Dave comes down here and sets up his vehicle and his table, and I come right down here. He's already got most of my order bagged because he emails us an order of what's included in our package. He's got like 3 different levels of produce that you can start out at a smaller package, which I did since this was my first year. But most likely I'm going to increase it next year because I've been really happy with it. And if he always has a substitution list, well, we do have if you end up having stuff in your package that you don't really need that week, he always has a substitution list so that I can turn around and substitute one thing out of my package or 2 things, and he just keeps a running account, which makes it really handy. There's no money exchanging hands every week or anything like that. He's just got a running balance.
All right, so Mom's mentioned a few programs, the senior vouchers, the importance of buying locally and working with local farmers and stuff. So I just want to do one quick shout out. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now, West Virginia grown. So that's a good way to identify locally grown products. That's our premier state branding program through the West Virginia Department of Agriculture. If you have questions about finding West Virginia grown producers, don't hesitate to call us. We've got a list of people. We send out a list every month in the market bulletin. So that's a good way to look out for some of these local farmers. And then same thing with the senior vouchers. So we manage a senior voucher program that Mom talked about that gives vouchers to seniors to help encourage them to come out and buy local produce. So, if you are a senior or if you, help take care of a senior, definitely get a hold of us and we'll try to, see if we can get you set up. All right, Mom, so we just got back from the Sistersville Pharmacy and you picked up your weekly bag of produce. Would you want to go ahead and show us your bag and, what all you were able to get this week?
Okay, well, this is my amount for this week that I picked up. I had Dave take off a couple things this week because I didn't need some of the other things, so instead I swapped out a couple things, got me an extra tomato and extra pepper this week, plus I got an heirloom tomato. And then this is my sister's package. She went to the 2nd level beyond mine, and she got this for her week. And you can always add more or take away or substitute, so that makes it really nice. We got a nice amount of lunchbox peppers this week, so they're really good too. I got those last week, so I wanted more this week, and I'm a tomato eater, so I was real happy to get a hold of an heirloom tomato as well. So, but this is our produce for this week, and like I said, you can add more. Dave always brings extras in case people want more tomatoes, or they bring somebody along unexpectedly that they want to buy a few things too. So he doesn't just have on hand what people have bought. He always has extra, and there's other farmers that have their little tables set up too, so you can go to those tables and purchase if you want from the other farmers. So, but this is every week that I get a fresh amount of produce for making up my salads, or if you like fried green tomatoes and that sort of stuff, you know where you can go to get it now.
I'm glad you brought up the heirloom tomatoes too. You've got a beautiful, rose-colored heirloom tomato there that Dave brought you, and those are kind of things that are a lot of times hard to find in stores because they don't transport as well, they don't have as long a storage life. So that's just another one of those nice things that you can find readily available by working with some of your local growers.
Yeah. Dave this week was telling me, because we had a windstorm this past week, so there was some damage to some of the things out at the farm, but so he ended up picking the heirloom tomatoes a little bit earlier than he normally would have, but he didn't want them to be lost either. So I was more than happy to take one, and I'll just sit it in the windowsill and let it finish ripening, and I'm excited to have it. So that right there is good flavor.
I appreciate Mom showing us around here and letting us see her produce and telling us a little bit about how she's able to support local farmers in the area. For anybody that's interested in finding a local farmer, learning about some of the different opportunities out there and options, please just contact us here at the West Virginia Department of Agriculture, the Business Development Division. Our planning coordinators around the state are there to help connect you with local farmers and get their products out there.
There's good flavor.
I appreciate Mom showing us around here and letting us see her produce and telling us a little bit about how she's able to support local farmers in the area. For anybody that's interested in finding a local farmer, learning about some of the different opportunities out there and options, please just contact us here at the West Virginia Department of Agriculture, the Business Development Division. Our planning coordinators around the state are there to help connect you with local farmers and get their products out there. All right, so back out there. Yeah, so Beth, do you need me to bring back up the homesteading PowerPoint there? Go back to West Virginia Grown?
Sorry, there we go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, and I guess before we roll into that, does anybody have questions for my mom? I'm not sure if she's actually on here or not. She was having some technical difficulties, so she might not actually be on anymore. Are there any questions anybody has for, well, I guess any of us on here, myself, that we might be able to answer about some of these markets? All right. Well, I guess in that case, we'll go ahead and pass it off to Beth here. I'm going to exit here and let her say hello to everybody. And then, if you want me to bring back up the PowerPoint, just let me know.
I think you're good. Yeah, and I think you made my job easy, Dane. I think you've touched on West Virginia Grown a couple of times, and if anyone has been on past homesteading webinars, you've probably heard a lot about it, but West Virginia Grown is our branding campaign for agricultural products in West Virginia. So that means, I'll apologize, it is like thundering and lightning here if you hear that behind. It's really loud, and it's pouring, yeah. But so if you see that on a product, that means it's been grown for 50% value added. So it could go on like a canned product that's been, maybe the individual didn't grow the produce, but they manufactured and packed it in the state and distribute it in the state. So there's a couple what different ways you can be in the program, but that's what the guidelines say. So it's grown or 50% value added. A couple things I want to hit on with the program. It has been around for many years, but there are some new things. We were branded a few years ago, and with that became the logo that you've seen on this series. And if you've gone to the WVDA's website or anything we put out, we pretty much have that logo on. So that is the new logo the program has. I also wanted to say that there's about 30 different categories you can be in to be in West Virginia grown. We're always kind of evaluating those and taking a look at those. Like right now, we're getting ready to add hemp products to the list. So, but currently about 30 different categories you can be in and be a member of West Virginia grown. Okay, so some of the benefits of the program, which Dane modeled one, which is a t-shirt. So if you're a member, and even if you're not, you can actually order that t-shirt. But if you want to support West Virginia grown, you can order the t-shirt, but certainly members have access to that as well. Of course, you have access to the logo, which you can use as you can buy it as a sticker and stick on your product. And, you know, if it's produce, you can put it on your meat packaging, you can put it on your canned good. You can also get that logo and print it on your You guys there?
Yep, I think we got you back.
Oh no, oh no. Are you guys there?
Yeah, I got you, Beth. You kind of lagged there for a minute, but I got you.
Can you? Our electricity, it just flashed. We have a huge storm coming. Yeah. So I was talking about some of the benefits, which is the use of the logo. We can do some printed materials for you, like printed signage, printed banners, and sell those to you, to the producer that's in it. T-shirts. Something we're working on, we're getting very close to completion, is a West Virginia grown directory. So since the rebranding, this will be our first directory, and that will have all West Virginia grown members in it. So we're really excited about that. We should have that. I know some producers are asking because it's been delayed just a little bit for several reasons, but we're getting very close to having that. So that'll be in your hands very soon. I think we have a little less than 100 members in that directory because we had to have a cutoff date, but currently we're up to about 170 members in West Virginia grown. So no cost to join, very important to add. That's no cost to join the program. It's a simple application you fill out, just basic business information, what categories are you applying for and things like that. And I think does anyone have any questions at this time? And most importantly, if you have any questions or just want questions or have anything for West Virginia grown, there is an email address you can email, and that is wvgrown@wvda.us.
Awesome, thanks, Beth. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat here too. So West Virginia grown at wvda.us. All right. Yep, and I guess I'll go ahead and I'll bring back up the PowerPoint. I had a little final contact slide there. That way, well, now I don't know where I am, but try this again. And I keep going to the internet.
I'll add one more thing, Dane. We also are talking about standing up an affiliate West Virginia grown program, and that would be more for restaurants and grocery stores, farmers markets and such. So that program would look a little bit different than the producer program, but we're also working on that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Does anybody have any questions about it? Yeah, I think Beth did a great job covering it there, and I believe you covered it already too. Did you mention printed materials and stuff too for advertisement?
I did. It might have been when my electricity flashed, but yeah, we have members have the option to buy some printed, whether it be like a countertop stand or some banners, that you can order that through the program. That's one of the benefits.
Awesome. Well, does anybody have any questions for Beth or Kelsey or anyone? I think, let's see, my mom actually, yeah, we lost her. So She's not on, but I'd be glad to try to answer if anybody has any questions. All right. Well, I guess if nothing else there, that's pretty much it for tonight. Appreciate everybody being here. Hopefully the slide's up right now. Like I said, for more information, contact any of these here, West Virginia Grown. Beth gave out her email there. We've got the Veterans and Heroes Agriculture email. And for any questions regarding our business development division or our planning coordinators, you can call us there at the office, 304-558-2210. That'll take you to the main office, and we can figure out from there who to send you to. So with any question, without it, if you don't have any more questions, we'll go ahead and call it, and we'll hopefully see you again either next week or I guess potentially the following week for the continuation of the homesteading series. But just be on the lookout for some more flyers coming out.